All right, welcome back. This is chapter 7. This is part 4. And to just kind of keep things moving, the system catalog is the next part that we're going to talk about, but it's a very short, very short piece. So we're also going to go ahead and wrap up the integrity constraints in SQL into this video. So this video is about the system catalog, as well as we're going to talk about the integrity constraints. So let's jump in and talk about the system catalog. So the system catalog is several tables that's inside your database and usually restricted access to them. However, as a admin, more than likely you have access to these tables and you can use them just like a standard table and query them. Definitely not recommended to update them or insert data into them. That's something much more advanced users should do, but you can definitely read the data from them. Now, little heads up, again, if you're using the Oracle Apex Online, you will not be able to do this. The best you're going to be able to do is just type out the query as it should be and go ahead and send those results, send that query to me with no results. That's understandable, and it's expected. So with that, your system catalogs contain 3 tables. It's the sys tables, which is the list of all the tables in the databases. Your sys columns, which is the list of all the columns in these tables. And then we have the sys views, which lists information about the views. With that, in Oracle, we use the DBA underscore tables, which is the list of information about tables. The DBA underscore tab underscore columns, which lists all the information about columns, and the DBA underscore views. Now, again, what's the difference between these and these? This is the Oracle version of the system catalog. And so when you're utilizing Oracle, you're going to make use of these tables. Update of the system catalog. Your database management system updates automatically when create, alters, and drops on tables occur, and when create or drop on indexes. Now, it also does not say this, but it also occurs in the views because we've got the DBA views as well. As I've already said, users should not update the catalog directly. In fact, you can seriously corrupt your data by doing that. So that should be reserved for people that really know what they're doing and have a real reason to do so. All right, so that is it when it comes to the system catalog. Like I said, your homework's going to ask you to utilize those tables a little bit to get some information from them and select statements. Don't worry if you're on the Apex Online. Just go ahead and type out the queries and send those to me. Now on to integrity constraints in SQL. So basically, with integrity constraints, we're going to create some rules for the data in our database. This is really important. One of the things that you'll hear often about databases is garbage in, garbage out. And that is so true. So if you don't have integrity constraints on your data, you let anything and everything go on with your data, you're really setting yourself up for bad data. And once the data is bad, usually there's no coming back from that. So an example of our tile distributors, a sales rep number must be unique. Well, we want to make sure that happens. The sales rep number for a customer must match an existing sales rep number. So we can't have a customer with a rep number that doesn't exist. And then categories for items must be the GME, toy, or PZL. So in this, we have kind of this hard-coded values of the GME, toy, or PZL, and we want to make sure that it sticks to that. So, with that being said, let me move this guy again. Integrity support is the process of specifying integrity constraints for the database. Clauses to support integrity constraints can be specified within a create table or alter table command, and we can add primary keys and foreign keys as well. So let's see what that looks like. So integrity constraints in SQL, primary keys. Use add primary key clause to alter table commands to add after creating a table. So this is how we add primary keys to a table. Same thing with foreign keys, a column in one table whose value matches the primary key in another. With that, we can create legal checks. The check clause ensures only legal values are allowed in a given column. believe we have some examples now. So here is the alter table orders. We're going to add a foreign key, which is the customer number, references customer. So this is the name of the associated table, and this is the name of the column. All right. After creating a foreign key, the database management system rejects any update that violates the foreign key constraint. One of the most common ways you see this is when you try to delete a item out of the table, and the other table has values pointing to that value. It'll tell you, hey, you can't drop this, you can't delete this value, because then you would have data in the other table pointing to something that doesn't exist, and that's going to be an integrity issue. So that's where a lot of people see it right away. Is they're, oh, I'm just going to delete that table, or delete that row, and they get an error saying that there would be a violation of foreign key constraint. And that's what they're meaning by that. So you're going to get an error message that refers to that parent and child. That's what we were just talking about. When specifying a foreign key, table containing foreign key is the child, and then the table referenced by foreign key is parent. So in this example, customer is the parent, where the customer number on table is the child. Now, way back we talked about up here, we're going to do this kind of, where'd it go? Categories for items that must be GMT, toy, or PZL. Here's how we do that. We're going to say, hey, alter this table item, which is the table we're altering, item. And we're going to add a check. And we want to say that the category must be in GME, PZL, or toy. And if you try to add something now, once we've created this check constraint, you will not be able to add a row that does not have one of these three values. So update item, set category equals mag, where item equals KL7B, item number. And you're going to get an error message. That check constraint does not allow that, because MAG is not one of the existing constraints that we've set. And so that's why we get that error. So those are a couple quick integrity constraints that you can use. Primary key being something that is a constraint in its own right. Then the foreign key, which means that you can't have data that exists in one table without something matching in the other table. And then finally, that last one we just talked about, which is the check. And we hard-coded three values that only this category can contain, and then that keeps us from putting in bad data. So that's the chapter 7. Again, a lot of chapter 7 definitely covered the views, and that's the meat of the chapter, and then quickly covered a few other little kind of gotchas, and that is the integrities, the system table, the system catalogs, as well as the indexes and some security. All right. Hope you have a great time. And if you have any problems, make sure you reach out to me in email. I appreciate it. Thanks.